Hey guys, what up? What up? How we doing? Ooh, we have another day where we farm some currency, but this time I actually do have a game plan. I kind of now have a direction in where I'm going to invest some currency into, so kind of really looking forward to it. Um, for those that don't know, I mean, there's no way you can't know because stream title is literally it. But we beat SS20, we beat SS21 yesterday, 3 stars. So life is good. We are the only Irish one that has currently beat it. And yeah, never thought I'd be in this position, but here we are. Um, we have a PoE teaser to react to because we haven't actually watched it. And then I will talk about what's it called? I watched this already, right? Did I? On second thought, I don't think I did. I didn't watch this. I need to watch this. I just remember that I haven't watched it. Huh. Okay, we watch this then. Anyways, we have this to watch, and then I'm going to go over what I have decided are going to be my next upgrades and where my thought process is at with those upgrades.
We're making several much anticipated in Return of the Ancients. We're making several much anticipated balance changes to the Chronomancer and Gemling Legionnaire Ascendancy classes. Let's take a
Chronomancer definitely needs it. Gemlin, I thought was okay.
closer look at some of them. Starting with the Gemling Legionnaire, we've expanded on how the Gemling interacts with quality on his gems.
Okay.
Every socketable skill in the game now has an additional quality option available through the Advanced Thaumaturgy.
Isn't this one of those y'all just keep giving yourselves systems where you have work and you just keep having work for it every single addition? Because now every single gem you're gonna have to create a new effect. Not complaining, but like I feel like this will get to the point where you have such an insane scope that even making smaller systems will be a much more daunting task because of all things like this. Like all of a sudden, to add a gem, you need to go through, you need to tick so many boxes that it takes like 3x the time to make a gem now, because now there's so many different effects you have to think of and all those other things. So I mean, right now it's really cool, but I really worry about that when it comes to like PoE2's direction. If they want to keep having the breathing room to make cool shit like this, like will eventually be the point where there just might be too many boxes to tick. But we can be thankful that that's not now, and we can enjoy what we have.
Skill. Once allocated, simply hold Alt while hovering your skill gems to preview an additional bonus granted by gem quality.
Chance to fire 2 additional projectiles? Chance to fire 8 additional projectiles in a circle. Wait, what? So this is the Gemlin one?
You're gonna see some gems to preview an
So does it still add big quality?
once allocated.
No, it's just extra effects.
Hovering your skill gems to preview an additional bonus granted by gem quality. You're gonna see some amazing effects. An example is Fireball. Instead of firing only 2 additional projectiles, why not fire up to 10 in a circle? Combined with consuming a fire infusion, you can fire a devastating ring of explosive projectiles that then explode into another ring of smaller firebolts. Another example of an added quality
that is insane.
Add quality to your life is Explosive Shot. Instead of having to reload after every shot, you can gain 2 more rounds in your magazine for a burst of deadly impact.
Holy!
With the Legionnaire's mastery of gems, he is also able to conjure a powerful barrier from his socketed skill gem.
That's this guy. Conjures a glittering barrier that accumulates protective gemstone motes of each attribute type over time, but loses a random mote when you are hit. Gain a random mote every 2 seconds. Max of each attribute of mote is 3, plus the number of skills you have which require that attribute. Single attribute skills grants twice as many motes. 1% increased life per strength mote. Wait, what? So if you have 12 strength nodes, you can get 12 strength motes. And your max is 3 plus 12, so 15. So you can, in theory, at max, you can have 15% increased life. And then when you're hit, you lose a mote. Okay. You have 5% increased defense with dexterity and increased life and mana regen with int.
Named the Virtuous Barrier. Each socketed skill gem empowers the barrier, making its effects stronger depending on the gem's required attributes. With the Virtuous Barrier skill providing some much needed defenses, and the additional qualities of over 200 different skill gems, it's more than meets the eye, and we look.
Give me a quick second. Okay, we're back. Where are we?
What you can come up with for your builds. Onwards to the Chronomancer. First off, let's start with one of its new notable skills, Phased Form. With Phased Form allocated, and due to your mastery over time, you are able
Take 30% less damage 4 seconds after being damaged by an enemy hit. Take damage equal to 30% of that hit's damage. So you take 30% less damage, and that damage you take, you would re-eat it after 4 seconds essentially. So instead of it being a damage over time like you would with like something like Petrified Blood, It's just the hit comes in later.
With phased form allocated, and due to your mastery over time, you are able to take less damage, causing a portion of that damage to be taken after a delay. This serves as a pretty strong defensive node, especially as the delayed damage only applies to hits, so you just straight up mitigate any damage over time effects. What makes this really cool though, is that by taking Temporal Rift, the delayed damage from phased form can entirely be negated. If you take a big hit, then use Temporal Rift, not only does your life recover back to what it was, but the delayed damage is just eradicated.
Holy.
Now some changes to existing Ascendancy skills, starting with Inevitable Agony. This has received new visual and gameplay effects, such as displaying your stored damage to bosses on static life bars. Also, now when the stored damage reaches a lethal level, the effect will trigger immediately to wipe your enemy out. The Rapid River passive skill, which made recoup occur much faster, has been removed, but a lot more recoup speed investment has been added to the core
Okay, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. This I love.
Additionally,
Wait, how much did we just see? We saw 20% here. Let's try it again. 20% speed.
Added to the core passive tree.
20% speed doesn't look like a lot. Before we had the one node, so yes, it's a lot. And my understanding of recoup is it's not determinist. It's not diminishing returns. So if you get to 100%, was it? I feel like it was something along the lines. If you get to 100%, you basically have instant recoup, something like that. So you want to. It's very strong, something like that. I forget. There was something very weirdly different about recoup speed. I'll have to remember or ask the person I remember talking about it with.
A lot more builds to gain access to this power.
But don't forget, there are also other sources of recoup speed, like belt, boots, socket tables, and stuff like that. So there are still sources outside of the tree for recoup speed. But that's 25, 20, 20, so that's already 65%. Let me see if I can actually just find it here. PoE2 DB recoup. Let me see Chronomancer. Oh, before that, where is Socketables? Socketables? Anyone? Rune. What did they change augments? That's what they're called now. Increased speed of recoup effects. Let me pull up that chat. Who was it with again? Yeah, him. Recoup. Where is this? Increase speed or recoup effects. I think I found the conversation. Oh no, it wasn't recoup. It wasn't recoup. It was ignite or some. It was something. It was ignite faster. That was the one. It wasn't recoup. Yeah. Okay, so you get to 100% recoup, and that if you get to 100% speed, you have your recoup time, roughly. So the fact that we get 65, 65 plus, if you're able to get to 100%, then you go from 8 seconds to 4 seconds on any class, which is a lot, considering 4 seconds was literally an ascendancy before. Gemling mode skill is something I don't get, but I see big numbers. The mode skill is fine. Basically, it's just if you have more gems, you can get more modes of that effect. So if you have more strength gems, let's say you have 12 strength gems, you can get 15 strength modes. If you're at any point in time you have 15 strength modes, that means you have 15% increased life. And whenever you get hit, it removes a random mode. So if it removes a strength mode, that means you just lost 1% increased life until you eventually randomly gain it back. If you lose dex, you lose increased defense. If you lose int, you lose increased life and mana regen. And if you have int gems, then you can get more life and mana regen speed. If you get, that's basically it. It's nothing crazy. It's just it's a defensive layer that scales really well with evasion because you don't want to get hit using it pretty much.
Additionally, a highly requested change has finally come. Time Snap and Time Freeze can now both be
Manipulate time resetting cooldowns of your other skills. Release a large wave that stops time for all affected enemies for a duration. Duration is lower the more times the enemy has had time stopped for them.
allocated without requiring all 8 ascendancy points. Finally, now
Wait, what?
Time Snap and Time Freeze can now both be allocated without requiring all 8 ascendancy points.
They previously required all 8. Oh. I think one of them was probably here and the other was here, so you'd have had to do 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that.
Finally, Now and Again has been changed to cause your spellcasts to have a chance to alter time itself and both echo and repeat.
The number of times this ascendancy has been reworked is kind of crazy. Cascadable spells have a chance to echo. Repeatable spells have a chance to repeat. So if you have a cascadable, repeatable spell, you just have a chance to echo and repeat.
To have a chance to alter time itself and both echo and repeat. Both roles are independent of each other, allowing you to unleash a powerful burst of spells all at once. Try out these changes and more on May 29th.
Wait, what does repeat even mean? Repeat sounds like you cast it a second time. Unless it's just like echo with different verbiage. What does repeat mean? I assume CD spells like comets are not repeatable. What the fuck is repeat?
The Return of the Ancients launch. Thanks for watching and see you then.
W teaser. Oh yeah, we have Destin's interview to watch. I kind of forgot Destin's interview existed because I thought I had watched it, but no, I just watched the other one. Legendary drops. Anyways, so as I was saying when I started stream, I have decided on what my next my upgrade path is going to be for my build. Essentially, also I should check something real quick. Before let's do this. Let's go rotted. Is there even anyone that is realistically cheap-ish? If cheapest is 1,000. I guess it's easier to... It's a lot cheaper to go for 1,000 than to buy the tattoo and realize it's us. I don't wanna, but I will. Moment of truth, guys. Moment of truth. Holy, it works. It fucking works. It works like I expected it to. Okay, that was a worthwhile test. Okay, that is big. So for those that don't understand what just happened, I essentially had to test to see if there's a universe where I can drop friend nemesis for a rare chest like this. And the main, for those that have been here for a while, you know the main reason I've been using friend nemesis is because it's not because of this additional damage, but it's a nice amount of damage. But the real reason is this line here, which makes my Magi take 1,000 secondary fizz. And with 1,000 secondary fizz, we proc its empower skill every 3-second base cooldown, which we then scale down with CDR, essentially. Right? So the empower skill is very strong and a big reason why we've held on to the chess piece. So now, because we know Rotted Taboo works because it's secondary damage that we take, and then we transfer some of that damage to our minions, who then take the damage, and it works. Oh, because it's secondary damage, it works with damage transfer, so we transfer it, and then they take the damage and they proc their empower skill is the idea. So because it works, because now we know for a fact it works, we can plan around a big swap. What is the swap going to look like? We'll probably end up replacing our blending affix yet again, fucking expensive, but we'll replace our blending affix with Rotted Taboo. And in the process of doing that, we are going to switch our slate setup from being a Space Rift setup to being a Prairie Pedigree setup, essentially. So we're going to put on a Pedigree here. We're going to get Prairie. We're going to get Moth. We're going to do what we can and, you know, try to make the best of our setup pretty much. But the idea then is now we're going to get poisoned relief from the Pedigree, as well as a damage multiplier in the form of what is the damage multiplier we said we were going to get asides that? Is there any 30% more damage multi that was going to be easy for me to get? Oh yeah, I remember what it was going to be. It was going to be Prophet Tree. It was going to be Prophet trees extreme coldness, because this would have been like 30% damage. This essentially means we're going to be freezing. It's going to add freeze to my minions. By adding freeze to my minions, we get an extra ailment, and the bigger reason is we get to replace this frostbite rating and just hope that we get injury buffer like we were been trying to get all this while. This is still going to be expensive. It is so annoying that I have to roll this again, but where we need to get that injury buffer in any case. Then once aside that, with that whole setup, we're also going to be playing around with my skills. So the idea here is, I forgot part of poisoned relief states that you take less damage at low life. So I'm not currently using this, which is not great. So I need to get to low life, and to get to low life, it means one of my bigger auras has to be put on life. But if one of them is put on life, that effectively means that the other one, now there's a lot of sealed mana that is being left on the table. So what I decided to do with that in mind is I'm going to drop Restrain as a support gem, and I'm going to go for 3 or 4 precise gems. I'm also going to be swapping my Circle of Life to Effortless Command, so I have 8,500 energy. And by doing all of this, I would need a precise restraint to fit on my life. But essentially, I'm going to be switching from off the beaten track to indifference. This will end up being a 50% more damage multiplier on my character once I fit in Effortless Command and precise restraint. Because without precise restraint and without off the beaten track, I can't reserve on my life. So we need to invest in a precise restraint, and then I can fit one aura on my life essentially. Looks like we're getting 1 additional skill point next patch. This is from their latest reveal. Weapon swap points going from 24 to 25. Are we getting an extra skill point, or are we getting an extra swap point? Because those are two very different things. We can get an extra swap point without getting an extra skill point. What was that red thing just now? Was it Machine Army? Oh, it was Machine Army. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure the animation was also on those guys. So all this to say, our next upgrade involves... Bro, what? Our next upgrade involves getting Effortless Command, getting precise restraint, and then tweaking our aura setup so that I can then run indifference instead of off the beaten track. Pretty much. I know last I checked, precise restraint was 7k, 6.5, so it's going down. Precise restraint caps out at 25% sealed mana comp at level 20. Or in this case, yeah, so basically double the sealed mana comp this one has. So the idea there is we can have as much of these sealed mana comp as we need in order to be able to fit it, but we're going to need precise restraint essentially. I want to play the game, but Act 1 Warrior makes me look. Lamau. Should I say 07? I don't think this is actually synced, if I'm being honest. It doesn't look like it is. Now it is. My net worth is 9k, so we're going to just farm is the idea. We're going to farm and do some more farm. So for the next few days, we're probably not going to buy any upgrades, and we're just going to be playing the game, doing our own thing, all of that. And then eventually we're going to giga spend is the idea. All right. It gets better after that, but still. Why warrior? What skill are you trying to play that requires warrior? 200 FE from those 2 shipments? Meh. But now we have all the charges on all our gliders, so we're just going to send them all out. They're going to check you. I want to play Life Titan builds this league for sure. There are 2 builds I want. The first is Hammer Storm Titan. The TLDR is, instead of Hammer of Gods being a limited glory skill, you use Hate Forge gloves. Cool tech, so you can just giga spam Hammer of the Gods. What do you do about the cast time / animation of it actually falling and all of that? Do you just tank it? Are you sending me, what is this? I don't want to watch a guide video. Is this the hammer? This is Whirling Assault. This is Whirling. Yes, Whirling Assault. Hmm. There we go. Surely you use phase breaker, so you actually shoot down a fist, right? I think I'm tired just watching the gameplay. I don't know. I almost feel like you get tired of doing the actual hammer of the ancient attack. Like, it seems like it's good at clearing an area, but not around it. So you have to, even if there's a mob to the side, you'd have to cast it on that mob. Maybe it's just me and my aversion to, you know, self-cast builds. Maybe that's it, but seems like a lot. Play is really good. Okay. I will take your word for it, but that is hate for it, so it is expensive. It's definitely not a league starter, that's for sure. All right, let's actually see this interview that I forgot I hadn't watched yet.
In the game, new or old, and why?
Wait, what was the question? Oh, and I should probably just set the quality at 1080. Like it?
Who's your favorite boss in the game, new or old, and why?
The thing that I probably want to be playing is the
How important
Lol.
will fan feedback be now?
definitely important. I mean, look, if everyone turns around and says, you know what, we actually hate the new in-game, obviously then that means we can't launch 1.0, right?
Jonathan, thank you so much for having me again. What a great stream. How are you feeling after putting it out there for everybody to see?
I mean, it's definitely been a lot of work. I'll tell you. Like, you know, it's been a little bit of a long cycle. We had that little bit of a delay as well, but I think it's been worth it. Like, you know, there's a huge amount of content in the release. It's kind of like it must surely be the biggest release we've ever done. You know, outside of like literally 010 for PoE2. Yeah, it's definitely been it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot, and I think you adjusted your camera on your set. It looks a little better. Your headspace is better. Your lighting's better. So big props
It's
to
just
you.
night instead of daytime.
Yeah. Also there's some light in the room for a change. This is a very end game focused, you know, reveal. Obviously, how did you land on this? You can take many different ways. You know, there's a new fully playable atlas in a fully playable world. Basically, clear destinations, bosses are reachable with a quest line. How did you land on this being the fix for endgame?
Yeah, so there was several things we kind of observed were problems in Path of Exile 2 compared to PoE1, right? And I mean, PoE1's got a very successful endgame, and we're kind of like, we've got like a cool new way of doing things in PoE2, but yet it's not sort of landing as well as PoE1 did somehow. And there was a few things we sort of observed. One of them is that when you got to endgame, there wasn't really anything telling you what to do. It's like, here's just this infinite thing you can go do, but there's like, well, what actually am I supposed to be doing here? So having that kind of quest introduction of like, okay, well, here's a thing, and here's another thing, and, you know, here's some just literally.
I think they found a good solution for the problem, by the way.
Stuff really does help, but in order to do that, we had to.
Because I know for like a while they've been mentioning, oh, the quests, like they wanted to do quests because it just feels like, you know, you're just there, nothing is really happening, stuff like that. So I think the system they've had with quests is going to be an interesting one. And like Arcane mentioned a few days ago, it might get tiring to do season in, season out, but I think this first league, at the very least, it should be fun engaging with the different quests. For personally, this is of course my opinion.
Kind of say, okay, we're not going to embrace like full random anymore. We're going to actually have the starting area around where you begin be the sort of fixed thing. You know, we've got like, you know, if you go to the south, you're going to find, you know, the breach area. And if you go to the west, you're going to find the, you know, the ritual area. So that kind of stuff is really important. And it actually feels really cool. It makes the world feel really alive and like an actual living, breathing world. So that was like one of the things we really wanted to do. And honestly, it's helped so much. Like when you're playing it, it's just like, oh, it feels like there's stuff everywhere to find. So that's been really good. But the other one is just like, we wanted to make sure that there was a situation where you felt like you could actually complete the end game. Like there were just like progress bars. Like literally it can be that simple, right? Like here's the leagues, here's how much through them you are. You know, like just knowing that is like a hugely important thing, right? You know, it's like if I do all of these, it's going to lead me to all of the different bosses and content and stuff like that. It's like that's actually just a really important thing. So I think it's like a really, really nice change to the end game that does help a lot.
Yeah, for me, you know, the first time I ever got to endgame, it's kind of, I did the highest map difficulty, and I'm like, that's good enough for me. I'm going to bounce from there. And you've been working on it since. This is such a drastic, positive change. It's just really, really refreshing to see. Even for somebody who's like, you know, not as hardcore as some of the other guys out there, but yeah.
Well, I mean, in an ideal world, even someone who's not particularly hardcore can still feel like, okay, I'm going to go there. If I follow these quest lines, I'm going to be able to kill all these bosses. Like that kind of stuff, I think really does improve it for players sort of getting into endgame for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel more excited about playing this season than I have probably any season because I know it goes somewhere, right?
So have you decided on Whirling Assault as your league starter, or are you still undecided? Are you still playing around with different league starters?
Atlas passive, that can be unlocked. I'm not sure if I actually like that because you can unlock the full tree. And I say that because it removes the player needing to make those hard choices or trade-offs. How do you think about it?
So I actually, the whole trade-offs thing is still very important. So that's the reason why we're like, okay, rather than have it so that you've got this huge tree that we need to make these decisions, we're going to sort of, the things that really matter when you're doing an Atlas tree are more like the keystones, like the sort of the big nodes that actually matter. So we're like, okay, what if we put those effectively either as multi-choice nodes that are like, there's, you know, there's like specific places on the normal Atlas tree, or we're going to put them into the effectively these Atlas Ascendancy classes that we're making, the Masters of the Atlas. And by doing it that way, we effectively get to have all those player build choices without it necessarily needing to be this big intimidating tree, that's sort of intimidating in that way. But the other thing as well that's a lot more subtle, and I kind of tried to explain it in the video, but it's quite a sort of hard thing to get, is that you the types of bonuses that we could put on the tree could never be something that affected content that you knew in advance you were going to get. And what I mean by that is that like we couldn't have a bonus before that was like, okay, while you're in a forest, this could happen, because then you just like allocate that node when you're coming up to a forest. Then when you leave the forest, like, I'm going to unallocate that and allocate something else. And so effectively what it means now is we can have those bonuses that like are more interesting, that like only affect certain content, and actually like unbound our hands to be able to add a lot of bonuses we couldn't do before. So it just makes the tree a lot more interesting and way cooler.
Does it? Because here is the other side of that statement. It is, let's use the same forest example. Well, now instead of unallocating a node, every single time I'm going into a forest, I am going to say, okay, what is my checklist of forest nodes I need to have before going into this forest? You know, that's what I'm going to ask myself. And if I don't have all the forest nodes, I'm going to go through all of them, or I can go through all of them, and I can manually pick every single one that now says, okay, we're in a desert. Now let's do desert stuff. You know, like, I don't know that just by virtue of being able to allocate everything, you solve the problem with a system like that. I don't know that I fully agree there.
Now, the downside of it is when you've got a tree like that, is you can't have nodes that add difficulty, because if you do that, then it means that you're getting the whole tree, right? So like if I add difficulty and you can't handle that, then that's not acceptable. So to solve that problem, like a lot of the multi-choice nodes are the ones that add the difficulty, where you can kind of pick, like, do I want to make this harder or easier? So you're kind of tuning like whether or not you want it to be more hard or more easy for you with those nodes. So that's kind of like, the thing you saw there with the shrine example, where it's like, okay, do you want it to make it so you're getting more shrine buffs, or do you want to make it so the bosses are getting more shrine buffs, but then you're getting more rewards, you know? So you're still getting those trade-offs, but they're a bit more explicit and kind of like, don't require necessarily going through the whole tree to be able to do that.
So you brought up the shrine buffs. Would you say you took it out of the tree and sort of moved it into gameplay elements? Is that kind of what you were going for?
I mean, yeah, in some ways, but it's like I mean, we just also, the other thing with the old tree is it just wasn't even nearly as interesting. Like, we need to just put a lot more time into it, of like making all the mechanics and the interesting mixes of them and stuff like that. There's just like tons of mechanics now. We're like, hey, what if this mechanic was mashed up with that mechanic? What would it look like? And now we're going to make a tree node for that and that kind of thing. So there's just kind of all over the place. And a lot of that depth of combination is the stuff that I don't think that we sort of had time to really do in the in game of PoE 2 as much with some of that content. And now doing that, it's going to be a lot better, I think.
Ocean exploration, another big addition to
Yes.
the map. Well, how did you land on that as a solution to sort of flesh out all the different ideas?
Well, we wanted to make sure that every league had some kind of cool Atlas mechanic that you wouldn't expect, like some modifying the Atlas in some way. So you've got like, something like Delirium Fog is like you're spreading fog around the Atlas and stuff like that. And so for Expedition, we're like, okay, well, what could it be that's an Atlas mechanic? It's kind of hard to fit, like boating around in the Atlas as it was. And we're like, well, hang on. It's infinite in all directions. Why don't we just take one of the directions and say that's the ocean? And now we can explore infinitely in that direction and be like, okay, sweet. Now we can do this whole thing of exploring the ocean. And it feels really different as well. We've added a bunch of maps. There's like a bunch of different new maps out there to explore with new mechanics and so on. It's just a sort of it's a fun thing. And it's a little bit like Delve in a way, where you're kind of like exploring this totally other sort of game mode almost, where you're just engaging with logbooks and exploring the ocean. So I really like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Another really interesting thing, I'm really excited about this.
Can you imagine when we actually get Delve in this game?
How do you convey within the build planner like where you start and when you start branching? Because sometimes with builds, if you've ever followed a build, I'm sure you never have, but you would need to tree off on like somewhere you were before at a certain point. Can that be conveyed within the new system?
Yeah. So what we did is we put level ranges on all of the different elements. So that way the build guide creator can say, okay, like here's the level where you're supposed to do this, and here's the level where you're supposed to do that, and that kind of thing. Like we tried to really sort of consult the existing build guides that you'd find on, on existing community sites to kind of see what kind of features that they would need to be able to achieve the stuff that they want to do. Yeah, like and the other thing as well is we were just quite like I thought it'd be quite interesting to just add the ability for people for build guide creators to sort of add notes all around the UI. And I think I want to expand on that later as well, of just like the kind of the abilities, like wherever on the UI that a build guide person wants to put, like information, they can kind of do that in order to sort of convey that extra tutorialization to the player. So I'm pretty excited to see what people do with it. Like, it's quite a big system, and in terms of like what the power it gives to build creators. So I suspect there'll kind of be some standardization of what kind of things people land on in terms of what they want to show, but it gives a lot of power anyway.
It's really cool, and I don't think I've seen a game do it like that before, where you give the creators such a level of access and tooling within the system.
Well,
really good stuff.
It was kind of similar to our approach to item filters, where that sort of started out as just a thing where, people can write text files that describe how to filter things. And then eventually, the community made a bunch of tools for that. And then eventually we also did a thing where on our website, like we've got like ladders of them and stuff like that. And we'll probably do more of that stuff later, especially because, the plan for the build guide stuff is that
there was something I wanted to say with regards to the with the build guides, I wonder if aside levels, would there be other indicators that we can use to indicate time for like a swap? Like, obviously you can't exactly just say, okay, you're at level 90, switch to this. Like some areas, some builds might be able to do that, but it's not everybody can do it, type of a thing. So in my head, I'm thinking, what could the level of, what could they do as a solution to moments like that? I don't think there's an easy solution, because sometimes it's literally, when you have enough currency for this, you're going to basically rework the tree, or you're going to do some big changes. So,
hello.
We're here for a practice run. Deconic, are you ready?
Oh, no, I'm just here
Deconic,
to
are you
vibe
ready
and
for the
play.
practice run?
I'm just here
you
to
mean
vibe and
just
play.
deafen? Because that is exactly what would happen.
He's so toxic, man.
Nothing toxic about it. I'm letting you guys have your practice run. Any other questions?
I'm just here to chill.
So toxic, man.
Sup, Rogue?
Hello. I'm enjoying the game. I only died to Viper once this time.
Holy. How do you feel the experience has been so far in terms of getting stronger? Like, do you think
it's way smoother than it was at release? Like, they clearly changed the game a lot.
It's a different
Honestly,
game, man.
like, a lot of the stuff that used to give me trouble on release is way easier, and I can tell that it's not just because I have more knowledge, it's because, like, they made it easier.
Stuff like what? I'm curious.
Like, I think I mentioned earlier, but, like, Count Geonor is a joke now.
Yeah, he gets.
It didn't really change Count Geonor though. Yours, you just knew, you just had the tools.
Yeah.
You think so?
Count Geonor has.
You know who they touched? The monkey.
The monkey.
Count Geonor hasn't been touched, I don't think.
Oh, like the silver fist with the pillar?
Bro, he used to kill so many people. They had to nerf him.
He killed me once or twice for sure, yeah. This time, he did not even come close, to be honest.
He killed the Deconic every time.
What do you mean he killed Deconic every time? He did not.
Never died to him?
Died to him. Just not every time. Fucking troll.
True, I just want attention. Different.
That's cute. But yeah, I would say like the process of getting stronger just feels a lot smoother and a lot less random than it used to. Like, on release, you could be stuck at the same power level for a really long time. And there
I'm
was
just going to
kind
take
of, like,
this.
nothing you could do about it.
You're not wrong, man.
I think the game still has the issues they had when it comes to getting into areas where there's not much you can do. But I think that is just a consequence of the passive tree not being as strong as it could be.
Right.
The passive tree just isn't that strong. Like it has its moments, but gear is gear above all, pretty much in terms of strength of gear versus passive tree.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Like that's probably why the game feels smoother now, is because it's more forthcoming with like currencies and with drops than it used to be, it feels like. And so because so much of your power is centered on gear, since that stuff is easier to get now than it was on release, it feels less bad.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, gear is very free.
It does feel
I mean,
like
to
you
be
have
honest,
to
Rogue.
path... Yeah?
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say is it does feel like you have to path around the passive tree a lot in order to like get to stuff that actually matters.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
PoE2
get
passive
better.
tree is
Pretty rough.
big
Get
and
better at that.
I
yeah.
am better at that.
And in the end game, what you actually just a huge part of PoE2 is getting better at navigating how to get to somewhere with it costing less. There's also items that help with that, but
Like
you just
the
don't
mean-
access them until later.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah, that's
PoE
like the
in
most basic
general,
item.
not just
There's so many more
PoE2.
items. Like there's a what's that jewel called, Iconic? From
Metamorphosis?
Sanctum.
Sanctum?
All notable things become this as well type shit.
Notables, timeless jewels, you mean?
Not timeless. The one that's rare, that's craftable. But it changes like notables. It changes it changes medium nodes.
Rare time lost?
Yeah, time loss. There we go. Time loss shoes. You get them from Sekimas, and they literally make it so certain nodes do multiple things, which feels nice to go through those nodes when it touches them because they have more benefit than just the one thing you click them for. So
That's
that feels
really
better.
interesting. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
I did a build last league that's where there was an ascendancy that increased the radius of jewels on your tree, non-unique time loss jewels. So I stacked a whole bunch of like minion crits and some other modifiers on areas that had like decent clusters of things I wanted, and so I was able to get a lot more minion crits than is available on the tree because of that. I just realized I paused Jonathan's face on such an awkward moment.
Lord and Savior Johnny.
All right, I'm gonna deafen myself for a bit so I finish this interview. Oh, Toa's in chat. This is one of the backgrounds of all time. Yep. It most definitely is. Holy. All right, let's do Jonathan justice and play.
You won't need to necessarily be manipulating files forever, right? Like we want it so that it can be like a one-click. You know, like here's a build creator's website. I just click that and I get the build into your game client. That's where it will go. But you know, especially for console players and stuff like that. Yeah, like we wanted to sort of get this out there and get people creating stuff and sort of see what tools that people can make.
Yeah, it just sort of seems like a double win, a win for the creators and a win for y'all because your players have better support. It's just great. Yeah. A lot of the stuff that you did is just I'm going through everything, and it's really a positive stream in my opinion. I think people are really gonna like it. I ask this every time, one of my left field questions. What are you playing right now, and what are you looking forward to this year?
Do you mean other games or in Path?
Not your game, not the one you work on all the time. Other people's games.
I'm gonna do a kind of a weirdly deep cut here.
Okay.
I'm playing this puzzle game called The Artisan of Glimmer.
Dearest esteemed artisan, you have my deepest gratitude.
I
for
was so
undertaking
confused for a second. Okay, so this is the game he's talking about.
Kind of a weirdly deep cut here.
I was like, what is an ad doing here?
Artisan of Glimmer.
Dearest esteemed artisan, You have my deepest gratitude for undertaking the restoration of Glimith's revered glassworks. Masterpieces whose brilliance once illuminated this kingdom.
It's one of the few games I've ever seen with a 99% review score on Steam.
Wow.
It's like this hyper niche puzzle game, but I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, but no, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. You know, Slay the Spire and stuff like that. There's all this the stuff that everyone's playing, but you know, that's one that I'm playing that does not have enough people playing.
It does have odd energy. Yeah, I'm like, it threw me so off. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
There's something I've never heard of, and then I need to learn more about it. I think it was either you or Mark that said one about like a drifter like going.
The drifter was me. Yeah, no, that was a good one. Did you play the drifter?
No, I never got a chance to. But...
Yeah, you should. It's really good.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a thing, but did a bunch of ARPG veterans meet up around GDC time to talk about?
Yeah,
you did.
So we had our ultra secret ARPG, you know, roundtable at GDC. It was just really interesting to be able to chat to all those guys and sort of find out, you know, like what kind of stuff they're working on and like, you know, like what their views are on different mechanics and that sort of stuff. So you know, it's good to be able to do that kind of like without it necessarily being public, because then you can kind of like, you know, like talk about things that you wouldn't necessarily want to talk about publicly with that stuff as well.
How is everybody feeling about the genre, though? Maybe you could give me a vibe check.
I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of positivity there. I mean, it's more, you know, it's like more popular than ever in terms of like the number of players and so on. Like, it's really good. And obviously, there's a huge amount of disagreements about exactly how everything should work. But that's what you'd expect. The group of people with different games.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and it was just kind of interesting to hear. And then, you know, we got this pretty good Diablo season coming out. You have this amazing thing coming out at the end of May. So, really, really good stuff. Armor sets for challenges, just heck yeah, really excited about that. That's a huge W. Something about a game like yours, you know, you have to balance cosmetics with things that you earn in the game that people go, whoa, you earned that through gameplay, you didn't buy it, right? How do you balance that with the cosmetic idea, given that you're not a free-to-play game yet, but you will be eventually?
Right. I mean, you got to be a little bit careful with it because obviously, you know, like if you can get a lot of things for free, obviously you might never buy anything. But you know, it's one of those things that it is important that you have that kind of stuff that you can see so that people know about, you know, just like, you know, whether or not you finish things. And I honestly was wondering, like, we were looking at like, okay, what are all the things that would lead someone to you know, enjoy the Path of Exile 1 end game that you know, who isn't necessarily enjoying the PoE 2 end game. And we're like, okay, well, one of those things might be that it's that simple, just like a series of challenges, right? Like here is the things that say, like more of those things that can say to you, like, you know, here are the things that I want to achieve in this league cycle. And so that was another one of those things, like challenges were another one of those things that we just hadn't done in PoE 2 yet. And so then I guess we'll see, like, you know, how much of an effect does that have? And like, you know, and is the chase for like, you know, I have finished this league being that, is that part of it?
Oh, I think it's going to be. It's huge in my opinion. Those pinnacle items that really show that you put in the time, not just to grind and get like a random drop, but to actually get an armor set. That has like, I'm mainly known as a Destiny guy from back in the day, right? When Destiny was a thing. And they really had that in an interesting way, like with the Baltic Glass sets and everything like that early on. So I'm really excited to see something like that.
I do like that the challenges in PoE 2, at least so far, I don't know if it's going to change in the future, but so far they seem a lot easier to just manage in general. Like there were only 8 challenges if I remember correctly, and out of those 8 challenges, they seem like pretty decently easy objectives to actually do. Now I obviously don't know that I expect it to stay only 8 through launch and all these other things, but I hope they don't. No, I actually don't care that deeply about it. But I really like the idea of fewer, more, I guess, difficult challenges. But I also can understand the idea of wanting. I can understand the idea of wanting more challenges to help guide players into using the different systems. But hopefully they figure out a different solution to that and outside of challenges, and then we can have challenges be, you know, actual challenges. You know,
path. It's another reason why this particular stream was interesting to me. I feel like I'm talking more than you on this one, just gushing about how good the news was. Let me see, what else do I have here? Oh, bosses, lots of new bosses this time.
Mhm.
Who's your favorite boss in the game, new or old, and why?
Tricky. Well, right now, I think just the coolest conceptually in the game right now, like in terms of like I've only done it like semi-legit, so I can't like fully say it will be my favorite when it's actually deployed. But the Bodark, the like underground, like the one that's sort of under the ground. I mean, you wouldn't have seen too much of it in the stream, but it's just so conceptually cool with the way that it works, and it has some like really unique mechanics as well in terms of like phase change mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess you'll have to wait to play it, but
This is the expedition one, I think,
sort of
right?
the demon that's underground in a realm of darkness, and then you have to bring light to it, and there's like things that there's moments in the fight where you have to like
Delve.
bring light
It's
into the
almost sounds
darkness,
like
and
it
sort
had
of
some
the
Delve
set
inspiration,
removes
like
the
Crystal
darkness
King
of the
inspiration there.
yeah, I'm kind of talking about something you haven't seen, so you might not know about it. But yeah, there's just some really cool mechanics there, and I think people will find it pretty cool.
Well,
It's definitely one of the coolest ones I'm looking at.
sorry, go ahead. What did you say there at the end?
Oh yeah, so it's definitely one of the coolest ones that like just conceptually even that I would say is in the game right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna ask about that, but how do you design a unique boss encounter that plays with your mind? Like, it looks like the room is completely black. What sort of mechanics do you use with that? It sounds like light a little bit. I don't want you to spoil too much because it's
I mean, that one was that one was pretty interesting. So you've kind of like the bringing the light to the darkness thing. There's some the god Viridi kind of gets involved in this fight, and eventually once you've been down there, you're able to call on her, and then she creates these little patches where when you go into them, it like summons like sort of verdant area of grass that kind of opens up, and then while you're in the grass, the Bodark can't go into that. So then you're able to sort of like get a fight on it. But then during the phase transition, he like completely annihilates all of the grass areas that you've made, and then then Viridi has to come down and kind of make this like short small path that goes through the fight, and you go through. Yeah, as I said, there's just lots of stuff going on. It's like you have to give the player sort of some anchors to be able to see, even though it's like a completely dark area. So and to be able to interact with. And that's kind of what we did there. But so these bosses honestly have taken some of the most effort of any that we've ever made. Like we started on them before 040. Like originally we intended to get some of the stuff in 040, and then it ended up being that we couldn't make it in time. So they've actually had like a huge amount of development compared to a lot of other bosses.
That's I'm excited to play that one myself.
I guess we're going to be Expedition Gaming, huh?
This isn't really a boss question, but in the trailer you did show that you can now tame and sort of summon bosses to fight with you. So which one is your favorite this time? Because last time I asked for the other...
To fight with you. I actually don't know. I have to admit, I haven't been playing that class in my playtesting. Like the Ascendancy class is something that Mark usually works on quite a lot. So the Monk has been the one that I've been playing through in my the new Monk class, and I really enjoy that one. It's really my style. So I actually haven't really had a chance to play through the game fully with that class. But I mean, there's a ton of beasts there, and I've got absolutely no idea which ones the players will end up using to kill stuff. I mean, one of the interesting things with bosses, they have these kind of large grand abilities, and so I'm sure there's going to be some kind of utility there. Like I bet you that owl boss is going to be kind of interesting for doing boss fighting, given that it's got the big freeze move. So there'll be stuff like that. I'm sure that will end up being the ones.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of Monk,
I don't see the owl being that popular
for the Monk.
Unless you just like it has like giga freeze and you really need freeze or something.
So
Monk,
there's some pretty
it's different now.
Like maybe.
Yeah.
So the thing that I probably want to be playing is the hollow palm technique monk with that. So one of the things that we want to do, so hollow palm technique is the thing that means that you use your bare fists to fight. Something that we added in a previous expansion, but this Ascendancy class is really designed to work well with it, with the way that it can convert your glove mods into mods that are then more useful to use like as an attacker. So it's giving you a lot more options for how to use hollow palm technique. As well as that new set of gloves that does that culling, increases your culling threshold. Like that's just a really cool, unique as well. So there's just some pretty interesting combinations there.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Definitely we'll note that one down. You did also say during the AMA, this is your final update before 1.0. Once 1.0,
the final main content update. We'll probably do some like other patches. There'll probably be like a 051, a 052, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like we sort of feel like in terms of content, like that we're there. As far as apart from the stuff that 1.0 itself will add, Like we feel like the game is kind of it should feel like a complete experience now in terms of like, you know, you go through the campaign, you go through the end game, all that sort of stuff. Like apart from the fact that there's some missing acts there, I think that we're there now. So we'll have to see if the players agree. But in my opinion, now what we need to be focusing on more is like enhancing and finishing everything that we already have, you know, before we get to 1.0. So that's going to mean, you know, like adding more uniques and like adding some extra skills to the existing classes and like, you know, to round out certain builds that didn't have certain things and that kind of stuff. And we will need to do some like some leagues for that, but they won't kind of be like content heavy leagues like this. It'll probably be more like, you know, like sort of 1 month race type thing so that we can do like more, you know, that sort of balance testing. But yeah, this is the kind of the last major big content update, and then 1.0 will have the you know all the goods, all the goodies that we plan to release there.
Well, diving into that just a little bit more, I was sort of curious, once 1.0 drops and you and your team, are you going to throw a big party?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's about time. It's been a long road, and way longer than a road than we expected to get here. So, you know, at least I'm hoping it's going to be party worthy when we drop it.
Yeah, you know, I've been covering it for a long time. I'm just really happy to see all the success y'all are having with over at Grinding Gear Games just throughout the Path 2 and Path 1's life cycle since I started covering. You're going to do it after ExileCon, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the one. So we've got ExileCon in November, and it'll be after that. I'm not going to give you an exact date, but, you know, probably not the same weekend GTA 6 comes out. So... the
GTA 6 is end of this year.
After ExileCon.
I've heard game companies try and avoid Grand Theft Auto 6 for some reason. It's a mystery,
for some
right?
reason.
Yeah. What do you feel you still need to tweak? Is it just Acts 5 and 6, or?
Well, so yeah, there's definitely that, but I think just classes where you know, now that we've learned more about, you know, what needs to happen, like they need a few extra skills. There might be some skills that need to change out. One of the really big ones that I still don't think we quite got right, and we tried to do in this patch, is just more uniques, like more cool uniques. Like I really wanted to make a big statement at the end of the live stream about the uniques that we have, which is why we showed so many of them, and like basically like every unique now has to kind of be, has to have skills that come with it and interesting play styles that come with it. But I think we need to do even more. Yeah, a lot more of those, and would be good. And you know, it's really, and it's like balance, right? Like just the sort of the more boring, just like balance changes and things that need to happen, just kind of make the game feel good. And it's honestly can be quite hard to get enough time to work on that balance stuff when you're also adding new content at the same time. So it'll be really nice to have a period there where the you know where we get a little bit of time to just do a release with only like balance and uniques and like, you know, just those smaller things between 050 and 1.0.
Yeah, I'm sort of curious, how important will fan feedback be now that you feel like you're in a pretty good place with definitely important. I mean, look, if everyone turns around and says, you know what, we actually hate the new endgame, obviously then that means we can't launch 1.0, right? Like we would have to then be like, okay, we still need to change this. We need to do another big update to it. I'm hoping that's not going to happen, but you know, like if there was something like that would happen, then it'd be like, okay, well now 051 needs to be addressing whatever that is, and like, you know, we're not going to obviously go into 1.0 until we know that it's good. Yeah, we're pretty confident that you know, we're gonna have something and that people.
Yo, Alice, you need to proc a bit more, you know.
To go into 1.0 with.
We're recording this before the public reveal. Spoiler warning, everybody, with production. What's right now? What is your gut feeling? How do you feel like people are going to react to it?
I honestly think that people are going to really love the new endgame stuff. Like, I think it's a huge, great change. One thing that was just a mistake on our part is like, there's some people who believe that there's going to be the like swords in the new update, and we don't have that. So there might be a little bit of like, oh, you know, they promised us that had the swords, but they didn't do it, because you know, people took a lot of hint. There was like one of the teasers we did had a sword in it, and people were like, oh, they're hinting to swords. So there's going to be a little bit of that, but I'm pretty sure people
coped.
The endgame content we're doing.
They coped so hard on swords.
It's pretty clear to me that it's way better.
No swords, get them, internet.
Yeah.
I had sort of a random one written down at the end. I meant to close that with the endgame question, but Runic Ward is a second life. What made you consider adding this? And was it because of players like me? I won't be mad if that's the case.
The actual reason is because we were thinking like, what would the Kalgurans, like what could a different Kalguran magic system look like? Like what's something that just works completely differently to how, you know, the magic that you would have in Rayclast. And so then we kind of had this like, you know, spending your life as energy kind of idea that we had, but we didn't want to actually go to that because actually spending your normal life pool would probably be a bit of a downside. So like, okay, what if we give you extra life and then let you spend that life? And then that's kind of where the way of using. And then there was something called Ward in PoE 1, and so we just like ripped that name, and then we're like, okay, what if it meant this completely different thing in PoE 2? And that could work this way.
Jonathan,
I mean, that's definitely a very creative solution.
Good answer. I was listening, I promise. But in addition to that, the market price checker thing with alt, like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. That was the biggest challenge in Endgame. I would just put stuff in the store and hope for the best and then figure that whole thing out. How did you land on that? Was that like a community collaboration thing?
So there are community tools that do that kind of thing as like a sort of like a third-party add-on, which isn't something we really like, you know, love that people do. But we're kind of at some point we're kind of like, if everyone feels like they need to run this add-on, we probably need to do something ourselves in the game client. Because they don't have to do that anymore. And so, you know, part of it is that, but yeah, also just like, you know, making sure that there's you know, like,
I just hope it's actually feels good using.
Good stuff.
I feel like this isn't going to replace our weekend trade.
I had no idea. I had to like
but
flight and stuff to make sure that I made it here, and I am so glad I did.
We'll see how it pans out.
I was very hyped. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
No problem. You too. All right. See you later.
And of course, as is tradition, here are the roundtable questions.
One question I saw in there was, this is more produced than last time. Did you get a new crew on these assets for the stream? So there was one asset that we did that was different, which was we got, we outsourced like a thing to do that CG of the fortress rising out of the ground, but everything else was just produced the same way that we normally produce it. So yeah, we thought it'd be pretty cool. Touch to the trailer and sort of communicate something when the fortress comes out of the ground, because that would have been something a little bit hard to really do nicely in the game setting. The next question someone said was some of these new enemies inspired by the mantis shrimp? I actually had someone else tell me that it looked like a prawn the other day, so apparently so.
What looked like a prawn?
Weird hand made it happy. I guess you'll just have to
one of the bosses
yourself. But yeah, you'll find out. Is the Temple of Atzeri getting nerfed? So yeah, it absolutely is. The way it's getting nerfed is not like necessarily in like a just like obvious numeric way, but the main problem that we had was that in the last league there were people using a thing called the snake strategy, and it was something that we did actually have a fix for, but we didn't want to deploy it because it would kind of be considered to be a mid-league nerf. But effectively, as long as we can prevent that kind of unusual situation called the snake strategy, then it'll mean that the temple is effectively nerfed due to that. So yeah, for mostly the temple's going in as it was. But there's like a few new a few new reward rooms and things like that, but yeah, you certainly won't be able to get the same amount of items that you were getting in the last league due to that thing getting nerfed. Next question was, will liquid emotions also reroll other mods on the item? Yes, they do. So they work like greater essences, which basically remove a mod, like reroll one mod into the new mod that you're using. And did I see a bear illusion? You did. So basically, that's one of the Spirit Walker ascendancy points is to get the bear.
Hold up. So for the liquid emotions, if the only criteria is that it's like an essence, which is it removes and adds like we saw in the reveal, does that mean if you're lucky enough you can actually just use multiple? Because I feel like that would be almost against PoE2's current philosophy. Like, or is it just me? Because like I feel like they would just say, okay, you can only have one of them, even if it's because I don't remove the biggest limitation for essences is that it turns a normal item to a green item, and now this one turns a green item to a rare, not green, a magic item to a rare item. So now that it's a rare item, you can't take it back to magic, so you can't use it. But like you can have as many greater essences as you want, but the difference is Jules only have 4 mods, so in theory it shouldn't be anything too difficult to get 4 complete essence mods on Jules. In theory, of course, this is all just, you know, theoretically. So I wonder if they are going to be Jules that are just completely emotion based, and how strong they'll end up being, and if this means they have to limit the strength of emotions as well. Kind of curious about all those.
that you can use to fight your enemies. Next question is, do you have anything planned to enhance visual clarity in the late in-game maps? A lot of players find it's easy to die to random effect they couldn't foresee. That's just one of those things that we don't have like a sort of grand rework of that particularly, but it's just one of those things that we slowly improve over time as we get reports about individual things and try to improve them. So there's not like some giant system there, but yeah, it's just like one of those things that you'd expect. Maybe a few effects change just as the ones that get reported and so on. The next question is, can we have the in-game price checking and tree planner in PoE 1, pretty please? So it's almost certainly, if it's successful in PoE 2, then we'll want to do that in PoE 1. These are some pretty good features. I'm really hoping that the build planner is going to do really well as well, and that the community kind of like embraces that format and kind of makes something pretty cool with it. So I think it should be pretty interesting to see how that goes. And we've already reached out to some community sites and sort of talked to them about the build planner and how to use the format and so on. So I'm hoping that even on release day, we might get some of the support for that stuff. You might be on release of OFO, you might be able to already download some builds in that format as well and follow them. Next question is, how do you plan to show the meta or shine a light on classes that don't tend to be played as often, like the Acolyte and the Chronomancer? So
Chronomancer just got a teaser,
but we're kind of not. Normally, what would happen is we'd actually give the patch notes on the same day as the live stream, but because the distance between the live stream and the release is a little bit longer than usual, the patch notes will be still 1 week beforehand, but that's in 2 weeks from now. So we haven't talked yet about all the balance changes coming, but I can assure you that there's definitely a bunch. The Chronomancer in particular is getting a reasonable upgrade, I believe. I'm not actually the person who mostly does the balance for the Ascendancy classes, but I definitely know that the Chronomancer in particular has received some upgrades, and I think some node functionality changes as well. We always look at that stuff and we always try to work on it. Why does the early Crow boss like bells so much? Well, I mean, I guess you'll just have to go and ask him. But while the delay is very much apparent with a number of reworks, additions, and changes that are in the update, what made you guys rework all the in-game encounters instead of just doing them bit by bit? So the answer to that one basically is that we originally planned to do. Okay, well, let me start that answer again. Actually, so basically, we weren't really happy with how the end game was in Path of Exile 2 from early access. There were kind of some pretty obvious problems with it. Especially in the way with, effectively nothing being, you get to endgame, you just didn't really know what to do, because there was no real tutorialization or anything really telling you what to go out and find. And so effectively our initial goal there with the endgame stuff to start with was kind of two things. One of them is we want to make sure the new player experience is that you get to endgame, there's stuff to do, there's things to find there, that what's out there. The other thing was we want to make sure that the start of the in-game atlas had a fixed kind of layout so that you could kind of get an idea of no matter which direction you go, you're always going to find something interesting. And sort of make it feel more like an actual real world. Now, we could probably, in retrospect, have done only, some of the leagues, but it sort of felt at the time when we were scoping this out that it was kind of all or nothing. We wanted to be able to say confidently, we've changed the way the end game works. All the leagues are different, it's sort of like a very much a qualitative overhaul. And doing one league at a time just didn't feel really viable. Now, as I said, in retrospect, maybe we could have taken the approach of doing only a few at a time, but, we just decided...
Thank you for not doing that.
And, I guess there is one other point to make that I didn't make when in the live stream, now that I think about it, because we cut off the... it was supposed to be right at the end, and we cut off the end part with the micro stuff in it, which is that this is actually intended to be the final update to early access before we do 1.0. So... 050 is supposed to be the one that sort of fixes the end game, and if the players agree that the end game is indeed way better, which I believe that they will, then that means that we've sort of checked off our entire list of what we need to achieve before we can move out of early access and into full release. And so our intention is to go into full release after ExileCon this year. Now, as I said, we have to obviously make sure that the players agree, but that's sort of the intention. So now that, assuming that the in-game expansion is successful, we've kind of we've achieved those objectives. The next one said, you said full allocation of the Atlas tree. Does it also apply to separate trees from the main one like Breach? Yes, it does. So all the trees you get all points on. Yeah, like it actually changes quite a bit the kind of stuff that we can put in the tree. It's sort of unbound our hands quite a lot, so there's a lot more interesting abilities there.
Did he misunderstand the question, or did he just say that we can get all the points on every single mechanic?
Yeah, like it actually changes quite a bit the kind of stuff. Location of the Atlas tree, does it also apply? The next one said, you said full allocation of the Atlas tree. Does it also apply to separate trees from the main one like Breach? Yes, it does. So all the trees you get all points on.
You get all points on all the trees?
Yeah, like it actually changes quite a bit the kind of stuff that we can put in the tree. It's sort of unbound our hands quite a lot, so there's a lot more interesting abilities there. Next thing is, will all in-game content be having
what?
Yeah, so basically, because of the fact that they've all kind of got like physical locations and they're all like physically on the tree with physical Atlas mechanics, it means that yeah, they all need hubs, they all need places to go, and I think it actually makes quite a difference to have some sort of center of league activity.
I don't know. Like, did he misunderstand the question, or did he actually mean what he just said? Because like, that was a mechanic specific question. And I mean, the question even said like Breach as an example. So we can just get all points on every tree. That means there are going to be so many decision, like multi-choice nodes on even the side trees is what that means. Because that I was not expecting. That I was not expecting. That was not on my bingo sheet.
There. The next question is, will full release contain all the classes and weapons? So it won't, unfortunately, contain all of them. It will have more than what we have now, but we don't think we need all 12 classes for release. That is quite a lot, so we might be missing a couple when we get to release, I would say. But the main thing that the full release needs to have, of course, is like all the systems are working well, everyone agrees that they're fun and they can play them long term, and we need to finish the campaign, right? That we need Acts 5 and 6 in there. So those are kind of like the two mandatory things that need to have happen. In 1.0 there obviously will be quite a lot of content, but it is going to mainly be...
I'm getting a bit of a headache from having my headphones on. I don't know what it's about.
So, yeah, there'll definitely be more content. We just don't necessarily
I don't know why.
need to have all the classes, I think. Next question is, a precursor tablet still a thing for extra juice? Absolutely. That's something that we still have all of those sort of the in-game systems around that are still there, but if you're like a new player, it's good to engage with them. You don't have to engage with them necessarily. Like, you don't have to juice that stuff, but to sort of finish the in-game, if you look at it as like sort of the in-game storylines, but you absolutely should be if you're like a player who wants all the extra items and stuff. Next question is, do you have anything planned for the quitting point where some players' attention falls off? I usually get to around level 92 before death penalty gets too punishing. So I want to actually talk about this a bit more broadly. Because,
why are they quitting because of death penalty?
Another important goal we had for the end game, which was that there wasn't, and
that is actually, that is interesting. Somebody asked because they typically quit at level 92 because of the death penalty, but like, if you're at level 92 and you have all your side points, why are you quitting because of it? Like, at that point, you have a lot of points already. Like, that shouldn't be where your next big upgrade is going to come from. Be levels. Like, no. Like, your next being able to level up, of course, is going to be big DPS. Like, big can be big, a big boost for you. But like, quitting just because of that seems weird to me. I don't know. It's very weird. Is it just me? Because like,
point in the in-game before,
maybe we just approach the game differently or something.
Basically, we're done. And in PoE 1,
let me take this back a bit actually.
And there wasn't an obvious quitting point in the in-game before for players who basically were done. And in PoE 1, this was actually something that was quite different. So in PoE 1, there are a lot of players, like a huge amount of players, like in-game players as well, who just do Atlas completion, and maybe they'll do like 1 or 2 leagues, like Pinnacle bosses or so on, and then they're kind of just done. And in PoE 2, we actually didn't really have anything to indicate to you, okay, like you've actually finished, you've finished the end game, you've done all the, you've done the content. Like, there's obviously always going to be an infinite Atlas to farm, but we actually specifically wanted this time to be like, okay, like here is when you can say that you have completed the in-game storylines. Like, we've got all those progress bars on the side. Like, if you do all of those, that's the in-game done. So that means that you don't necessarily have to, like one of the things we even noticed is that on Steam, yeah, you know, you get the classic thing of people being like, you know, 400 hours played, game is terrible, you know, like that kind of thing will happen in Steam reviews. And the reason why that happens is because they're playing the you know, the Infinite Atlas, and eventually a game will get boring. So it's actually good to have a step.
I don't understand. I don't understand the idea of, oh, I played this game so much it became boring. Bad game. Like, how does that make sense to literally anybody with a brain? How? You played it so much so you're tired of it, so it's a bad game because you've played it too much. And huh? And this is unironically the way some people think, and it's like, I don't get it, and I don't think I can get it, nor do I think I want to. Like, what?
Like, game will get boring. So it's actually good to have a stepping off point where you can say, okay, like, here is the point where, you know, where you can consider yourself to be done with the end game if you want, right? And sure, you could farm some more, but there's a very obvious ending. And that's something that I felt, as I said, that I felt like we lacked, and now I believe that in 050 we do have it. And a lot of players, I suspect, will, like, you know, they might just do like the main you know, the fortress and maybe like a couple of other leagues, and then consider that to be done. But even if you do more than that, if you want to do all of the leagues, you know, like you fill all the progress bars, and then you're like, okay, I am done now. I've killed every boss. I know everything that there was to do is there. If I want to do more now, all I'm doing is just like finding extra, you know, like there might be extra rewards and uniques and stuff like that to do. But you know, but you did get to that quitting point, and so it's a good time to leave, and then, you know, just come back next cycle where we introduce more content. So I think that it was a very important goal for the new in-game stuff as well. Does the update take place after 3 weeks? Because Automatic says he'll observe winter from the mountains for 3 weeks. I guess maybe it does. I don't know. It's a bit of a deep lore question that I don't know if I am fully able to answer. So very good. So it looks like we've run out of questions in chat. So thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. It was great having you guys here. So yeah, thank you very much.
And a big thank you to the members. You can support at patreon.com/SaveStatePlus if you like the show, or you can become a YouTube member. Big shout out to the members: Chris Freddy, Brandon Cheruby, Jason, Marcus Hargeet, Emma.
That was a good interview. I'm coming out of that interview with some question marks, like every single side tree being able to allocate everything. Like, did he actually mean that, or was that like a miscommunication? Like, did he think the question was one thing when it was the other? Like, you know, kind of curious about that and what that means for like what kind of decisions we're going to be making with the side trees. So yeah, that definitely leaves me thinking, at least. Definitely food for thought. I don't know. Anyways, there is a universe where we don't stream for the entirety of stream time, simply because for some reason I have a headache right now, and my headphones being on my head is not helping me. So there is a universe where we don't stream too much longer, but we'll see how I feel. For now, I'm okay. For now, I'm chilling. All right, now that we're done with the interview, we can actually on deafen on Discord. Let's hear what the PoE2 gamers are doing. All right, I'm back.
That's it. That's exactly how it works, right? Because when we get Jonathan to come in the... Hey, what's up?
I'm good. I know you're trolling, so yeah.
What do you mean, man?
Exactly what I said. I know you're trolling. Go on. You were a bit sentenced, right? Carry on.
It's all good, man.
Fucking troll. Sup, Rogue?
I was getting his ass ate by Doriani.
Dory. At least Dory's in one prototype.
It's the his phase 1 is fine. It's just the robot, like the mech.
Yeah.
The laser attack on the mech. I need to remember that it comes out of like the red part, and then just like not be there.
Do you mean the one where he spins around or a different one?
The one where he spins around, yeah.
I find for that attack, you can dodge to. You're better off dodging towards it than away from it. Like if it's coming, if it's rotating clockwise, counterclockwise, you have to dodge in the direction he's coming from. So like left, yeah.
Okay, so
Instead of away from
you,
him.
just sweeps like.
It doesn't track you.
set
No, it
direction.
doesn't.
It's a sweep. Yeah.
Okay. I will.
Honestly, this is kind of
do
a good amount of bosses have attacks like this that are like you just gotta know where the thing starts and then you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Zarok is another example of somebody who you want to dodge into the mechanic, not in the direction of the mechanic. I mean, you can tank it. It's just if you're not Sekima peeled with your idols, then yes, you are. Then
Huh?
you want to say you're not,
I'm not.
Mr. Rose for 5 meters. Just farming jewels. Doesn't fucking matter. Your you. If I am still Trial of Chaos pilled, you're Sekima pilled.
Gamers do anything but just admit that
I'm the second build one here. They need to introduce a third one for Arcanix so that he has a home. Like,
Who said so that I have a home? Because I'm homeless. Or my home is in the maps, bro.
maps. Yeah.
I don't need. Honestly, I like Trial of Chaos, but as soon as they tell me to do an escort mission, I just want to like. I just want to find a rope and tie it on the escort thing on the sky.
Yours is the escorts. Mine is the fucking room. The one where you have to kill enemies. I'm just like, why does the timer not move when I kill?
You know what activity the timer moves when you kill enemies in? Trial of the Sekimas, baby.
Shit is like, it's so counterproductive because like, I feel like Ultimate in PoE 1 has a similar mechanic and it definitely moves. Like defend against whatever. The more you kill, the less you have to face, or the less time you're spending in the phase. It's like, it's not rocket science, my dude.
Really, it is, bro. Really it is. I'm deep space beacon farming right now.
How's it going?
Dude, I buy like 30 compasses and it's like 500. but I'm making money.
It says like 500, like how much is per map or what? What do you mean? Or per hour?
Like 30 of each of the compasses are almost 14 each.
Yeah. So you're spending a ton per map?
But I mean, I'm making money. I already have 80 beacons, so.
Nice.
And that's just I'm just halfway through my rerolls.
Is there anything that gives elixir effects? I don't think so. Let me actually start using my speed mapping setup because I just realized why am I not using it? Where's the charge? Hypermetabolism. Then so this is MS. Change this to blink.
So wait, did you close stream because of your headache or what?
No, I'm still streaming. We're going to switch Energy Fortress to Precise Swiftness because why not? I don't need to tank anyways. Skills, passive, Precise Swiftness. That's nimbleness. I hate that nimbleness and swiftness have the same icon. Shit always bothers me. 130.
I haven't launched eTor and all these maps, but that shit's about to be so cooked.
What do you mean?
With my generous donation.
Generous donation of what? What are you talking about?
Of 8,000 FE.
What if I replace my DPS? Oh. That one. Eh. Yeah. Then what else are we doing here? H, was it? O? We're replacing Veil. Yeah, we'll replace Drapion with Preserver.
Surely I save this and just do attempt a run with RS2 just to get used to it? Or is that cope?
That is kind of cope. What do you mean?
Just I just feel weird like not experiencing anything about the build till
next league when you play it? Why? You want to experience it now and then.
Enjoy it.
And
that's not to put it on you. I just like it's. Made Rogue Act 4.
King's March. Cool place. Damn, he's roasting them.
Doriani has a bit of an attitude. But you don't want to hear what he's got to say. You don't want to hear his response to our thoughts on that series.
you mean her massive assets? Or
have you seen that dialogue, Greg?
I have not.
Alva said that in game. She literally goes, "What did she say, Nicole? Do you remember?"
You get into it like a treasury vault, and she's talking about how she has massive assets, like you can take or something, and then Doriani is like, "Excuse me," or something.
Excuse me? And she's like, "The treasure, fool."
Damn, he was like taken aback.
His blade back. Yes, of course, the treasure.
Sheesh.
Doriani.
They knew what they did when they put that shit in.
100%.
Only someone that appreciates true nature can do that.
In its true beauty. Like true connoisseurs of beauty, you know? I'm moving way faster. I'm very happy with the changes. Okay.
Are you telling me that if Doriani and Aziri were the only two Val left, he'd be like, "I must save my people"?
I mean, she's his people.
Sacrificed her, to be honest. He actually probably he's been like, I know how to do it. Trust.
It's like the only move he knows how to do. Like,
trust. She's like, she's like, I've seen it in the future already. It doesn't work out. I was like, no, I must.
Would he sacrifice Atziri? I feel like
bro. Atziri. No, we said not Atziri.
I said if they're the only two people.
We said Alva.
Alva, of course. We thought it when we met him, he was trying to sacrifice Alva. It's like it's not even a question of will he. It's like he has already tried.
Had that in the crucifixion stance.
But if it's like Atziri, you know, that he probably wouldn't sacrifice. You know, you have to protect the assets. That is like the most memorable line I remember from the temple.
I laughed when I saw that. Yeah, Terry fight's cool too for like 2 seconds.
We just outgear it quickly, so.
For how long it takes for us to get our asses there? Fuck yes, we outgear that shit quickly.
I mean, it does take a while because hopefully Maybe they reduce the time till then. I feel like that would help have a better overall experience on that fight. What is this? Oh, that's us. Never mind. Yep.
I have a question about imprinting in this game. What does it do exactly? Do I keep the mods I crafted?
What does
Am I just
imprinting
putting it on a
do?
different? Am I just putting it on a different base with different implicits?
Imprinting takes the base affix on the donor base and puts it on your crafted item. Replaces your crafted item as implicit.
But I keep all my mods.
You're keeping your item. It just replaces the base affix.
Okay.
Just make sure you don't reverse it, because that'd be disastrous.
What if I bought? Would it keep a sequence?
You have your item except the base mod, so yes, sequence included. It's fine.
Sequence included. So I was thinking of buying like a base item with a sequence.
Yes, that is what people typically would do to get sequences, because screw crafting. And I speak from a place of hurt
I'm thinking of crafting
because of what
now,
it did.
low-key.
Don't craft.
Even with 30K?
I mean, with 30K, you can craft sequences. It's just be prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. Just be prepared.
I'm not prepared. Then I'll log out.
I mean, you might not. You might.
I think I will. I mean, I want to keep farming. After this, I think I go back to clock. I'm printing, by the way. Like as I just spoke to you, I just dropped 8 deep space beacons.
Holy.
To make that 10.
Yeah, you're spending your heroes, yeah?
Yeah. I do it at 50. How many do you have right now?
Resets? 65.
Oh shit. You should do that too then.
Yep, I'll probably look into it soon. How much is it? Like, you
How
just
much for
fish
that?
for the legendary plus?
So you're gonna get the God of War shit, so you're fishing for the legendary and rare. There's a purple one. There's a couple of big purple ones, of course, that you don't want to do. Max level God of War ones. And then you want to get the Miss Essence card for Residence thing, because if you hit that, then you hit big too.
So there's a base God of War. Which one? The one that's 2% or?
And I don't do the 2% one, but there's purple God of Wars that give you plus max level to God of War. We don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, you don't care about that. You care about chance to drop deep space. Why don't you run 2%? 2% is legendary.
It's
2% chance to drop deep space beacon?
Oh, Deep Space Beacon, I haven't seen that one yet. I thought it was just 2% chance to be attacked by God of War followers.
Oh no, you don't care about that, because that's just, it's still they just what they have a chance of dropping maps, and then now has a chance of being upgraded. It's like running a regular map, just now you have a bit more followers that will attack you, so you drop more maps. That's only good if you're going for actual maps. Or
yeah, I'm running 2% right now, literally. Yeah. The legendary one, yeah, I'm running that right now.
yeah, so it's 2%. Okay.
And doing Sandlord means I have a shit ton of beacon probes, so just printing. I'm not running any other, like, I'll drop the compasses and run like a chest map and something, but everything else I'm just rerolling. The way this should work, as soon as you hit 14, you're just not gonna get another one, right? As soon as you hit 14 stacks.
Like forcing resets?
No, like 14 max God of War in the map.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get attacked anymore.
Yeah, because it's on the level up that you get the thing. And Lunaria is probably really good for it because it just supercharges your what you call it? It supercharges the God of War.
Wait, does it?
I mean, you heal so many monsters during Lunaria that you just go from like 2 to like 14 in the blink of an eye.
I mean, I've actually made. I made a lot. I made 1,000.
You have a build code?
6 maps. Yeah, I can. I can link.
I know what I would do, but I'm curious Oh my goodness.
Be happy with this one, I think.
Cool.
Sent it to you.
Arigato. I will check it after this map. I mean, I don't have until like Friday before I get to work from home. So till then, I'll probably just end up chilling, doing some clockwork. But I kind of know what my next upgrades are going to be. I kind of went through the works with a friend of mine and I kind of figured out what I wanted.
You didn't tell me what build that person was playing.
I told you Iris too.
Erosion?
No. Rock DPS. Wait, no, they no, they have erosion DPS. I just remembered. They actually are using erosion DPS.
Like they are the erosion monster.
No, they are using rock support, but their main DPS is erosion. The meta is rock DPS. Their DPS is erosion, not rock. So they don't scale origin because origin isn't as good for them.
A lot of time in the game.
Hmm?
I said that's a lot of time in the game for their numbers. Shit's insane. But I guess I can't. Like my friend did something similar, so.
That's a lot of time in the game. He no lives.
Yeah, that's what I said about my friend too. I was like, I guess that person did that too, so it's not
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah, it's like this is not 200k budget or anything like that. This is because he mentioned spending like 200 to 300k more since he cleared SS21 the first time. So that put that should put it in perspective. How much has gone into the build?
My friend felt like he was reaching his peak a bit.
Peak how? Like, no more scaling potential?
There's still potential, but just like
No worth.
yeah. So he changed his goal to just being the first to be what's it called? To be
SS21.
4K on the round 2.
Mm.
Because no one else had hit it till then.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was getting Giga, and then like you could tell some like RMT person was coming up from nowhere.
Yeah.
He's like, he's just gonna get to 4K and then call it. Cause like for his free to play shit, it was. I mean, the fact that he done that free to play is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I wrote this build. I was saying when Rashram was here, but I'm thinking about that. Like, I wouldn't make it this far. I don't think without it. I don't think I would have made it this far in Thea.
At least now you know potentially what's. Oh, fucking cramp on my leg. Jesus Christ. Now you know what you could potentially find fun in the game.
Okay.
And yeah, and the builds to go for. I mean, it's partly tank. It's partly like you had tank built into your kits, right? For my build, as an example, I had tank also built into my kits, but it was less like the way when I started getting tanky, I had been squishy for a bit. You skipped that phase for what would have been that phase for your build by going in with currency.
Oh yeah.
But that just means the builds you should be going for should have some level of defense to it. Like for me, my defense that scales offense is origin effect. By scaling origin effect, I'm getting less hit damage and less erosion damage taken. No, less hit damage and less dot damage taken. But I'm also getting regen, but I'm also getting damage.
And I know Iris 2 goes Giga regen shit, but like.
Alright, so it's Giga tanky.
As far as I understand,
but it just takes money.
Giga tanky when?
I mean, Mere Eternity alone gives you a lot of tank, but Mere Eternity is not cheap early on.
Which one is that again?
It gives you injury. It's a fucking overstacked unique. It gives you injury buffer. It gives you regen. It gives you like it gives you a lot, and for the cost of a more effective rate for non-fizz, it gives you a lot of different defensive stats, all for the price of getting to like 60 something k armor, which also kind of scales your rock damage leading up to that point. So you just end up, by solving mere eternity, you end up tanky. And of course our hero trait also has the less damage taken. So like I said last league, just by virtue of existing, I'm now just taking less damage. Like if you remember, I didn't cap my res until way late, like until I was really juicing Lone Walker and whatnot. So I won't say like she doesn't start off Giga time.
Right?
Yeah, she goes Lone Walker. Like
this will be the first time I experienced Lone Walkers, which will be cool.
Yeah, surprised you haven't so far, but I do get it.
I mean, this build can't really, but
no, I mean like none of the builds you've
like
played.
Build. Yeah, Erica doesn't really do that.
This is my first time beating SS20 without Lone Walkers. I'm glad that I could do it. But yeah, this is
Rasham hadn't beat SS20 yet.
This league or period?
At all.
The league he went super hard. Did I know that he didn't beat SS20? I feel like
I thought he had.
I never did think that far, like if he had or hadn't on that league. But I know like there was one league that he went hard.
The Iceland's one that he was fucking trillions.
Actually, I think I knew he didn't beat it, because in my head I never thought, oh, he went all the way and got like a free chest. I thought he skilled way more efficiently than I did on his character and got to like the trillions. So in my head, I wasn't thinking SS20 when I was thinking, oh, he just went further than I ever had.
You're fucking dick, Rogue.
What?
Bro was talking to you. You walked away. Did you see what he said? Don't want to know, eh?
Oh, he's in the interludes.
Yeah, the interludes. I love that you can just walk away from him. He's not gonna say it, Rogue. He's gone.
Fucking rip. I didn't even know he had dialogue. Whatever, it's over. We blast.
You do that every time.
I love that, like, don't want to know, eh? Like,
You're just like, yeah, I mean, you don't want to know, you don't want to know.
Yeah, it's the most I've ever made it. Feels like a big accomplishment.
It is. You're a percent of the percent that actually gets all the way to SS20.
Though I do feel like, and then although this is just now that I've made it, I feel like this league, a lot more people probably made it than other leagues. I feel like that happens every league, though. Like every league, the percentage increases.
That's what I told you.
Because they're not making it tougher.
We just have more multipliers, so it's easier to get there.
Watching Ben do it on Rosa Mana Stack this late for 17k. 17k.
Whenever you see Ben, I think actually Ben, but yeah, I saw.
Yeah, at that point, it might as well be.
Lol.
17k.
I finally dropped my first glorious access. Shit is 150 FE. This shit is rare, yeah. What the hell? But it's the corruption material that allows you to go for darkest for non-legendary. That shit's rare AF. What?
Don't I have that? Oh, I have corrupt.
No, you have regular. You have one corrupt, not double corrupt. That reminds me.
Double.
That's double corrupt. We have a 10 pull on Battle Pack Spirit. Surely I get Poison Domain.
I failed.
Woo! That's Poison Domain. That is Poison Domain.
Bro, why would you get it, man? Now I have to swipe.
GG. On the very first click, pretty much. All right.
Swiping for Twilight Sparks.
What'd
I
you
wouldn't
say?
swipe for battle packs. That's kind
No,
of
that's
trash.
cooked. Don't do that.
But I will for Twilight Sparks.
I don't sure you have level 1. But you want to go for
Yeah,
more?
but if I end up doing anything, I think it's probably that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I want to do yet, but I think I'm just going to save until I know what I want. Because
It's like I might go for Kong. I don't know.
I don't think I'm going for Kong. I don't think I am. I don't think I
enjoyed
am.
Creation Blasting a lot. That shit actually made me really happy.
That's good. I don't think Kong is for me. I feel like there was something I wanted to check price wise or something I wanted to do. I just don't remember what it was. You sent me the quick builds, so let's see. What do they do with the skipping one? You got money in beacons. Glacial Abyss favored as expected. This is the skip tree, right?
Maybe I skip.
Like the one where you're just re-rolling cards. Does he go for the profound rarity? Yeah, makes sense. I guess for +1 confusion. Makes sense. And then he goes for this one specifically for the card. Okay. And then he goes down here and right here. Yeah. Makes sense overall. Packed Spirits. He just goes Floris. What is that, free to play Packed Spirits or what?
I mean, he's free to play.
Okay. And then
So I don't give a fuck about the chance to be attacked by God of War followers, I guess.
You don't care for the cards if you're card skipping, but if you're just running maps period, you would. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, I got Mist Essence.
GG. So now you're going to put Boss Compass and what and Eternal, right? Or is there something else you do? Because Boss Compass adds 2, Eternal is 1 boss.
Yeah, Boss, Purple Hunt, and Gold Cube, yeah.
Gold Cube.
They're bosses.
Okay. And so what do you leave left? Just Valiant War, or do you remove Valiant War even? Or Beacon rather? I assume you remove Veteran, Beacon, and Beacon. Or what combat are you removing?
I just got the assets line, yeah.
So good.
Go War.
The assets line.
Oh.
Purple Eterna, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Purple Eterna. I think there was something I wanted to do out of map. Don't fully remember what it was.
We're gonna print.
But I do have Sandlot to claim, so there's that.
1 cube. Oh my god, cube is 67 apiece.
Miss Essence will pay for it though.
What?
Miss Essence will pay for it.
Oh yeah. I just can't believe that someone's paying that. I saw someone on Reddit be like, yo, I have level 4 cube. I'm really close to level 6. Hoping to get it next league. It's the only pet I have high as. I've seen everyone say I'm really close to 6, so I should just keep going. You know the fun what this person, you know exactly what this person is saying. And then the person said,
And I thought you couldn't.
Person's like, but I'm not making money. I'm literally giga. I'm just like, bro, yeah, fucked. Yeah, fucked.
You don't even know what's happening.
After you hit big, because nothing else will give you joy.
So to be fair, when you put in enough maps, it's very, very chill. Like that 100 maps sample that I did was very fun. The problem with that
The
was,
same way if you do it again. Though.
what do you say?
I don't know if it works the same way if you do it again.
Why? 100 maps is more than enough size to deterministically get lucky on something. It doesn't have to be profits, but it could be anything else. Could be space rifts. It could be literally anything else.
Purple haunts.
Sun scorched.
So I just want to go for Quant, Profound, Probe, I guess.
Quant, profound, probe. Why quant? I mean, for this one, I don't know that quant would help.
Is it fixed?
I assume it
I haven't
is.
actually read it, to be honest.
Read it. I assume it's fixed, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Like, I assume it works like snow paper fragments, which quant does nothing for. That was on almost 200 FE Sandlord run. Nice. I feel like it had something to do with uptime on my skills. I just don't remember what exactly. Maybe it's uptime on my elixir? Maybe? And that's my connection. And we are back.
What is Moose Essence used for? Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. Misville shit is the
Low.
depth of
I dropped a record as well.
Holy.
That's actually crazy.
I feel like I didn't drop that many records from actually killing mobs when I did a
yeah, that's kind of lucky. Like, that's kind of lucky for this strats.
almost feels like they nerfed
actually
it
wanna
since
do
last
that.
league, which is kind of because like I don't. What'd you say?
Just thinking out loud. What's up?
Because like I feel like if it was last league and I ran it, I'd have dropped a bit more in the way of like directly from them. But like I don't know for a fact.
1100 this map.
Holy.
Actually dropped 11. Really.
Yeah, like 150 each, right? Or how much are they?
To use on cube. 104 after tax,
Holy.
according to the tracker, and I haven't actually looked.
Does and the strat doesn't use goddess of? Does he? Do you go god of hunting compass? I feel like you should.
Yeah. Purple Eterna, gold cube, purple boss, purple hunts.
Okay, so you replace all of them. Okay, I only said three of them.
It's a full different thing after, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, goddess of hunting makes
These are
sense.
hits.
Send it to me, please. Because like I would have probably forgotten gold cube. That one is the most unintuitive. The others make sense.
I probably got like 6 or 7 bosses from that.
I don't doubt it. I'm not saying it's not worth
Gyro,
it.
goblins, that's even dope.
But def, 100%. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying I wouldn't have guessed cube.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either. Sounds so. 6 more rerolls. I gotta remember to leave 1. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Okay, when it says 2 left, do I have 1 reroll or 2 rerolls?
2 rerolls.
One more for the boys. GG's.
Did you get something good?
No. Well, like, no, it's done.
I know for my next few days, I'm going to try to just farm without really thinking about how much I currently have. Then I'm going to do like a big money spend because I'm going to need. Actually, should check for the pedigree I want. It's kind of hyper specific, so I think it should be cheap enough.
107 deep space beacons. Holy shit. Bro, I have 4K in beacon deep space beacons.
Isn't that like it 50 or something? Or no, 100-ish.
No. Oh yeah, 99, yeah. 45 each.
Yeah. GG.
This shit is insane.
Surely you boss rush to stack up your heroes, your refreshes.
I'm actually thinking. It's got me actually being like, yo, that was a lot of currency.
Man is hooked.
And I'm checked out of this game, to be honest.
Do you still have goals for this season, or are you literally just playing?
I'm just playing.
If you want to play longer, you'd set yourself goals. That's the
I would
only
like to do some things, but it's not like
3-star.
really what I'm thinking about.
You only
3-star,
need to waste
21.
Time for 9
3-star
days.
20.
Just for 9 days, yeah. Honestly, the truth is I haven't had that much time anyway, so like I haven't been tripping about it.
Yeah.
But probably 3-star 20 and 21, yeah. Which I think I now have enough money to do, hopefully. Hard to say because things are getting pricier by the day. Items are also getting rarer.
Yo, is crossbow fun in this game? I found the reloading bothered me like enough that I didn't want it.
It's a complex question. But the TLDR is it's an acquired playstyle, but it's still really fun.
Cool.
It's definitely acquired.
In the end game, you get a rare gem in your support links that makes it so you don't have to. All you have to do is dodge roll to reload.
Oh, that's really sick.
So, but also depends on the skill. People are picky with certain crossbow skills just because of that. Like there's a skill like explosive shot that only has 1 in the mag, which is ass. But there are other skills that don't, and they feel quite a bit better. Grenades feel better too because they're delayed anyway, so reloading doesn't feel that bad because things need a sec to die.
Right.
So it just depends on the skill.
Wait until you get the new unique that removes the arming time.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that shit because I am a grenade cuck.
Do I have a tree that I can replace for? Yeah, I do. Creation engine. Yeah, that's on the chopping block. Sandlord stays, Giga Cube stays, God's chest stays, creation. You're going. But I'll do that. I don't need to do that right now. I can do that once I have a bit more rerolls.
The exalted workbenches in these temples are so nice.
Really nice for campaign progression.
You definitely end up
Good on
with
them
a lot more 6 modded items, that's for sure, which gives you a decent amount of power that we didn't have access to before.
It made
Yeah.
campaign a lot easier.
Especially seeing as you're running into it every single zone, whereas in the new league, you're not going to necessarily run into it every zone. Like
Yeah,
Temple.
yeah, and the new league is gonna have its own
Yeah, exactly.
thing, right?
So we'd have less 6 modded items, but we'd have probably better drops because we're just dropping we're getting to pick a bit like weights the drops we get from that mechanic, right?
That's really cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait to come to that. Also, can't really wait to play, but so good, I guess. I'm not in a hurry. Just if you can keep getting.
All in a day's work.
Don't worry, that world is not scary. It's just a long, long time of loneliness.
Low ES, that's fine. One thing I noticed is even going to up to 75 netherrealm resonance on Clockwork, you end up gaining resonance. So you actually get a very healthy amount of resonance just from running Clockwork, like blue cogs.
Perhaps we can be friends once you've turned to dust.
Conflicts carry the weight of both honor and shame.
What is that movement speed? Ooh, 50 FEs. You know, one thing that would always be a shock whenever if you like go straight from a end of like a tier license into a new one. You just like how different the experience is with like farming into a new season. Like going from being able to drop 50 stacks here and there to just back to T7 grind.
I mean, it's fucking insane.
Where you're just like my experience with Cube, when next time I run Cube, I'm not going to be thinking, oh yeah, it's rare, but it's not that rare. Then I cause like to this moment I don't know if it actually cares about tier of map, but like I suspect that the higher the tier of map you are, the better the odds of getting the, you know, SR items and all those other rarity items. Call it a conspiracy theory, but I think it does.
I don't even think it's that much of a conspiracy theory.
Which is why Cube just ends up be feeling so ass early on, like terribly ass. That, and honestly, Cube just isn't that fun without Gold Compass. Like I don't know why they felt the need to go from the cube rolling cube version to getting 5 rolls per map. Like I really can't understand that decision. But at the very least, now it's a lot easier for me to conceptualize how the Golden Compass can make money. So in future leagues, I'll be a lot more open to it. Which is why I'm a big fan of the fact that I actually played it and enjoyed it. It's not necessarily always going to be money, but like I can see how even when it's expensive and it looks like it's not going to be, it still can be. Also, can I just say the fact that Clockwork gamers were able to play, like Don the Crown them were able to play with Golden Clockwork in T8 because of how cheap it was day 1, day 2 is kind of crazy. Like that's one of those
Are you gonna
compasses
try
that
next week?
100% if I can get to the DPS requirements, 100%. But you see, that's a challenge, get to the DPS requirements. Because even when they were doing it, I don't think I had quite enough DPS to do it myself. Plus, I saw it at the end of like day 2 when it was already ramping up in price, and Don doesn't use an FE tracker, so like he knew he was making money, but like I don't know how much money he's making.
He uses it, just doesn't show for some reason.
He uses.
Yeah, he does.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Like, I watched him do. He's get all tab to look. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like I watched him enable log the other day on stream.
Lol.
It's like, bro, you really be using?
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking, oh, he just doesn't care.
I think he said it was making something was wrong at first with his computer, something like that. So he was trying to. I don't know, bro has a bullshit excuse. But he did use, yeah.
Interesting.
Let me wait for shit to sell. I'm gonna stretch my legs.
Sounds good. I will be ending stream soon. We got a golden compass. Woo! Alice, thank you for doubling that shit. Beautiful. 3k FE an hour. Nice. Though it does include Sandlord, but Sandlord is a part of the strat, so I think it's fair to include it. And I think I actually earn enough gold to say you can probably even spend gold on gliders. You'd be in a deficit of like 20k every single rotation if you're efficient. Maybe 10k, maybe. I'm not the most efficient, but even then I still get a decent amount of coins to use for skipping the cooldown. So who knows? I think it's something where you can even consider doing that and you're not trolling. It's definitely something I've done multiple times. Anyways, before this headache gets any worse, I shall be calling it for the day. I will be back tomorrow. We have, now that we actually have direction in where we plan to upgrade on my character, I am going to play probably going to keep playing TLI till PoE 2. There's really nothing else to play, and like I still have goals. So long as I have goals, I have a reason to play, and I'm not burnt out. I'm a play. Essentially is kind of where my head is at here. Oh, and seeing as I already got Poisoned Omen, I almost forgot. Seeing as I got Poisoned Omen from that 10 pool, I mean, I'm not going to use it, but it's kind of nice to just have this guy. +1 curse at all times is very nice. So because of that, we're just going to use this chest. I'm going to go Anubis. Scales of Original Sin, confirm. And now my perfectly aligned 3-2-1 of Pact Spirits is kind of going to be offset by this guy going to level 3. But can't complain. It's a nice 3-3-1. And then the goal is, I mean, this is just 8% more damage now, so that is really nice. But the goal is to get Anubis to level 6 first, then we'll figure out between Veil and Drapion who I want to level up first. My guess is I want to level up Veil to level 6 first, simply because it would be nice to get 80 growth out of Veil, as well as get a bit more additional damage and whatnot, and movement speed. The movement speed is always nice. 12% MS, that'd be nice. And then beyond that, Drapion will be the last to get leveled up, mostly because the thing I care most about for Drapion is level 6, and up until level 6, like there is additional damage to be had, don't get me wrong. There's additional minion damage and additional spirit magi damage, so you end up actually having 8 and 4%, which is a bit more than 12% multi from leveling her up, but it's not nearly as impactful as 8% from this one level, 8% from this one here as well, stuff like that. And this guy being like taking this to 53 is also kind of very strong. But being able to increase this 40% by 33%, that puts it at 53 origin, which is going to be very nice to have as well. But that's why she's the last to get leveled up, but she's also a very strong part of my setup. Anywho, I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Till then, have a good night.